Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the November edition of the Veterans Whiskey Club live stream. Thank you all for being here. We're going to talk about some military issues and drink some military whiskey. Cheers. All right, now this is an open bar. The way this works is at an open bar, anybody's welcome to come on, have a few drinks, join in on the conversation. Found a lot of interesting stuff to share with you guys this month about things that have happened in the month of November in military history. Got some Medal of Honor recipients. Got a video of things that happened in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Lots of stuff on the table. Let's see. Bourbon was the first one commenting in. What's up, Bourbon? Is it midnight yet? Well, it wasn't. Guys, let me know if my audio is good. Video's coming clear. Everything's looking good. We got some military topics to cover. First one is the veteran-owned whiskey of the month. It's Nashville Barrel Company. It was founded by two guys, and James is a Navy veteran. He was a submariner, and this pick is by a local submariner, a guy named Thomas, who lives not too far from me. And he did a pick with them. So on the label, it has the anchor, and it says, "For submariners by submariners," or submariners, as we like to call them. Rick's in the house. What's up, Rick?
Hello, how you doing?
You good, man? Lee's in the house. What's up, Lee? Eric, good to see you guys. Beryl, Dave, and Rage and Cajun. A bunch of you guys already jumping on. I get to see 2 a.m. twice. Yeah, roger that. Beach Sand Bourbon. Are you drinking anything over there yet, Rick?
Yes, I'm actually drinking a little bit of 3-quart of the Allman Brothers Eat a Peach.
Okay. Right on. Sounds good. I put the link in the chat. Give me a sec. I'm gonna pin that link here in a second. Steven's in the house. Beach Sand Bourbon is in the house. What's up? Moderators, feel free to drop links to other people's chats, and I would also ask one of you moderators to set a timer every 10 minutes. Remind us to drink some water. We got to make sure we're drinking as much water as we are drinking whiskey, if not more water. So remember to hydrate.
Grab me a bottle.
Don't forget to hydrate. Most important, you got to take care of yourself, or else you can't take care of anybody else. What's up, Troy?
What's going on?
Good to see you, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, like I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah, hours even. Vic is in the house. Appreciate you telling people to jump over. Troy and Vic.
Vic just passed 500 subs.
Ooh, nice. Congrats, Vic. Beach St. Bourbon. People dropping links. Here's the link if anybody wants to join on stage with myself, Rick, and Troy so far. The Porky Prankster is in the house. What's up, man? Your name cracks me up. TBC. That's Randy. What's up, Randy? Mr. Great Shot. What's up, Mark? 500. Cheers, everybody. So, Troy or Rick, do you guys have anything from Nashville Barrel Company?
I have a 10-year.
I'm going to go grab some Nashville. I'll be right back, Mark.
Roger that.
I have a sample of 10-year.
Oh, sweet. I have two different NBC picks, and both of the picks are done by veterans. As I just said, James at NBC is a Submariner veteran, and so Submariner that lives near me did this for Submariners by Submariners, and I also have a Dusty Dan pick who was a Marine, and so his pick will be the bourbon of the whiskey of the month on a different month, because the way the rules work is that the veteran whiskey of the month is for a particular release, a particular bottle. So I can do different veteran-owned whiskeys each month and not do the same one twice because there's lots of good, better known whiskeys out there. But I just don't do the same bottle
Sounds
twice.
like you burnt it a little.
Bourbon and Ball sent me this sample, this Nashville Barrel 10-year. And I was in Nashville and tried pretty much everything they had at the Fred Mimic show they had there back in the spring. And I did not like any of their bottles that I tried at the show. It was all just super hot and not really good for my palate. But this 10-year that Bourbon and Ball sent me, I like it a lot.
So we're pouring some NBC. Is that what I heard, Mark?
Yeah, I was just finishing up what I poured from my. Hi, Laura.
Hey.
Finishing up my first glass. My first glass of the night was from my Infinity bottle, which got some Weller Proof in it today.
Yeah, I got to finish it. Allman Brothers.
Can I mention that I witnessed that?
You didn't just witness it; you assisted.
I held the Affinity bottle. It was super cool.
Cheers, guys.
I'm a little jealous that I didn't make the trip up north.
Here you go.
Yeah, he got to see all the flair on the Infinity bottle from all the empty
wow.
bottles taken out.
Did you see the tater sticker on the side of it?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and so this one's going to be for the next one.
Say good night to the wife as she walks out.
Good night.
Present for duty, sir.
Good night, wife.
Mary.
Jerry Black, thank you for making it to formation on time. Appreciate you. It's a little bourbon challenge. Dave is in the house. What's up, Dave? Hydration is key. Yes, absolutely. Like I said, if someone can shout out every 10 minutes for us to drink water, greatly appreciate you. Bill Reynolds is in the house. What's up, man? Got a great.
Did you move the pitcher back into the man cave?
Say that again, over.
Did you move the pitcher back into the man cave?
Pitcher. Oh,
Your
the one my son took out.
Yes.
Oh goodness, thanks for reminding me. I did pick the bottle up that dropped behind the.
Okay.
Yeah. I told you I wasn't gonna let that just sit back there. Yeah, when Troy was here earlier, I was messing with something and the bottle fell off the shelf and went behind the shelves. The E.H. Taylor shelf here went behind that, so I had to crawl down there.
I was thinking it was gonna be years before he found it. He's like, "No, I'm too OCD."
No, I can't leave that back there. Bill Reynolds, like I said, thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate you staying up late. And we've got a good Medal of Honor recipient from Vietnam that I'm sure you'll enjoy the video. Scotch Down Under, Ken is in the house. What's up, buddy? You just reminded me, Ken. I need to put the poll in the chat that we do every month. We're going to have a poll in the chat getting a snap pic of all the veterans in the house to see what branch is heavily represented. So let's just go to the control room.
I'll go Navy for you.
You were Army ROTC.
I was not in the military, though.
Start a poll. Well, no, you guys know the question goes, which branch did you or your family serve in?
My family served in the Navy.
Me and my father.
All right, and we're putting like items with like items. We're going to do Army and Coast Guard.
Yeah, they go together.
We're going to put the Navy and Marines together. We're going to put the Air Force with the Space Force. And then the fourth option is another country's.
Oh.
So another
Thanks, Eric.
country's military, because we got people tuning in from all over the world, and we want to get them represented.
Yeah, you
And
got
I know
those
that when
down
I was,
under people.
especially when I had to go through some of the bigger bases in Afghanistan, I saw people from all over the world. Canadian, Czechs, Egyptians, Japanese, Germans, Jordanians, British. Saw soldiers from all over the military forces from all over the world there together, like one team, one fight. It was freaking awesome. There wasn't many times I was on a big base where I had people like that. But cheers, everyone. Drink water. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate you. I have the D team pick among other NBC picks. Oh, Roger that, Eric. Go ahead, pour some NBC with us, buddy. Drinks and Chill is in the house. If you guys don't know Drinks and Chill, they're a good channel to watch. They have some good reviews. I like Drinks and Chill. If somebody can drop their link in the chat, appreciate that.
That's like our typical Friday night drinks and chill.
Yeah. I've got 5 NBC bottles. One of them is a Whiskey Irish pick. He's a 6-year Air Force vet. Yes.
Nice.
I didn't know that he did picks. I know that he puts out a ton of cheesy shorts and has really been climbing numbers. Barrel House is in the house. What's up, man? Good to see you. Just cruise through the comments real quick. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. If you're here and I missed you, I'm telling you hi. Timer is set and running. Appreciate you, Eric. Good man.
This I done a quick search on this 10-year barrel just now. That's why I hollered there. Whoa, a while ago. It was $187.99.
Nope. Wow.
I don't know if that's it. Only thing that's on my sample bottle just says Nashville Barrel 10-year.
Okay. I started my night with cough drops, so I was sipping Jim Beam Sunshine. Now that my palate is clean, I fresh cracked an Eagle Rare. Roger that.
Nice.
Nice upgrade.
Yeah, Eagle Rares vary. Some Eagle Rares I get like a stale cherry soda note, and some of them I get like a stale grape soda note, and some of them have that wood and caramel apple that you get on a lot of other Buffalo Traces. But out of all the Buffalo Trace products, I think Eagle Rare is great if you can get it for $40 because of that variance. It's not always the same.
Yeah. What would we see it for today, Mark?
$39.99, I think. It's a good $40 bottle for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I'd be
I
right
don't
back.
think
I'm
I've
gonna make
seen
sure it's made in the house,
a
okay?
Nashville
All right, Roger that.
10-year before. I think we've seen like 5 years and 8 years, and in that bit,
So we've got a 7 and an 8 sitting right here.
I don't think I've ever seen a 10-year. That's
So
that's old for Nashville for sure.
$39.99.
Yeah, that is
Bourbon
old.
Lee.
Yeah, this one is a 7-year-old.
I mean, we've got some that are 5 years old that are just phenomenal.
Just sub. Roger that. Pin the link. Jump on for a few minutes. Oh, snaps. I didn't pin the link yet, did I? Amateur hour over here.
It floated by. We clicked it.
Hold on. Let me pin the link and then we'll get on to the next topic. All right, so while I'm pinning the link, the next topic is we're going to honor the fallen. So if any of you out there that have a loved one, a battle buddy, someone that you served with, someone in your family that served, if they are no longer with us and they either passed away in the month of November or if they have their birthdays in the month of November, because we want to remember them, celebrate their life, and the impact that they had on us. And so that's why I include birthdays with that. And so if any of you guys have anybody you want to throw on the wall so we can pour a glass to them, go ahead
Time
and
for
throw
some
it
water.
in the chat. And I'll make sure to get them up there.
Thanks, Eric.
I need to pin the link again. Drop the link in.
You got two different accounts, Mark?
What's that?
I see one in color and one in black and white there.
Oh, that's the Twitch. I'm streaming live on Twitch at the same time.
Okay.
Mm.
I got
Yeah.
Northwest Space Bourbon and then Northwest Bourbon, all one word.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, true story. Good attention to detail. I like it. Sub to Drinks and Chill. Oh, Roger that. So Drinks and Chill, getting some people's time for some water. Thanks, Eric. All right, so month of November. My very first deployment, I was fresh out of basic training. I got what I was told was the Vietnam treatment because I went to basic AIT, went to my first duty station. They were already deployed, and so they sent me right up there. I just got gear from supply, went and zeroed my weapon, and I was just in the barracks for a few weeks before I got sent to Afghanistan to catch up with my unit that was already deployed. The first time I pulled an IED out of the road and got shot at, I was still at E1. I hadn't even made E2 yet.
Wow.
But joining in with a bunch of guys that are already deployed and you're a brand new guy, nobody really likes you right off the bat. What's up, Bourbon?
What's up?
So the guy that really welcomed me and brought me into the fold in my team was a guy named Tate. Very funny, huge sense of humor, very charismatic, funny dude. But he helped me get integrated with the rest of the squad because he had that kind of personality that he was a people person. You know what I mean? And me and him got along great. Got back from that deployment, hung out in the barracks. Went shopping together, drank beers and played video games and all that stuff. Found out a few years ago that he took his own life. And
Damn.
so I'm putting Tate up on the wall.
Is that your security in the background there, Ben?
It is. I had to bring my muscle for the veteran stream.
Love it.
What's up, Mark?
Hey, cheers, y'all.
That's Burr Ethan.
This is the only Nashville barrel one I have is the Amazing Houdini.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Only. He
Well,
only
it is.
has an absolute banger.
Yeah, well, your other American
Okay.
girl was man down on the floor.
All right,
Looks
so Ben, I got your grandpa on the wall there, buddy. Appreciate
What's
you
up, Bob
throwing that
Glass?
out.
Molotov.
That makes a good cocktail.
Heck
Yeah, it
yeah.
does.
Putin is.
Want your other one over here?
That's awesome.
All right, so
Great tater sticker, great name. I mean, that's a great bottle.
I'm gonna give
Yep,
the people,
there's a military history to this bottle right here.
You want your other one?
I'm gonna start pouring my
None.
glass to the fallen out of my personally signed horse soldier bottle here. And so if there's anybody else who wants to get their loved one's name on the wall, we can throw it up and have a glass to them. Have a
Yeah,
drink in their honor.
Did you see Ben from the North's comment?
Yeah, I got his grandpa on here.
Nice. 94 years old.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wow.
Mark Northwest, you can put my oldest brother, George O'Neill Moreland, in there. He was on the USS Valley Forge in the early 60s. He's passed on, but let's remember him.
Thanks, Rick.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Rick's brother, George.
George O'Neill.
And my dad was in the Navy, and then my cousin was a Marine. Dad was over in Vietnam area, that area over there.
My dad was Seabees World War II.
My dad was never. He was in the Navy, but was never on a ship. He was always on planes, doing like radar and surveillance type stuff.
Roger that.
I was Navy and never on a ship as well.
I was Air Force.
Submarines.
Did my farm.
A submarine
Air Force-
doesn't count as a ship.
That's a
Mark.
boat.
Oh, okay.
Air Force
Submarine is a
too,
boat. FYI.
Thank you, sir. I wanted
so
to
I
live
threw-
halfway
I threw-
decent and eat good, so you know.
Yeah, I threw your guys' family members up on the board. I appreciate
you.
you guys sharing that and
Thank you, sir.
sharing about them with us, because that's how we remember them, is by sharing with others.
Yes.
I learned a lot from both of mine,
What's up,
especially
Eric?
my dad.
Sam
Eric.
Ladies in the
Anderson
house.
right there.
Cheers, brother.
What's up, Eric?
And for those Canadian Army, West Germany, World War II. Oh, Roger that. My uncle, Air Force B-Day. Oh, damn, that's crazy. Hey, appreciate you sharing, Orlando.
Yeah. Hydration break.
My uncle was in World War II in the Army Air Corps, passed in 2014. Mark's uncle.
Yep.
Roger, hey, I appreciate
Way
you
back.
sharing. Appreciate you sharing. All right, does everybody have a glass to raise to the fallen?
Yes, sir.
Well,
Cheers.
to those that went before us, until Valhalla, cheers.
Cheers.
Lest we forget.
Cheers.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. So moving on to military news and history. The month of November has a lot of stuff going on. First thing I've got on the docket is November 10th is the U.S. Marine Corps' birthday. And so I didn't want to share just a video of Happy Birthday, Marines. I found a video of the origin that I thought was super fun and interesting. So give this a watch, and we'll talk about it in a minute.
Pilgrim William Bradford boat returned to England in 1625 with beaver skins to trade for supplies. They were well in the English Channel, almost inside of Plymouth. There she was unhappily taken by a Turkish man of war and carried off to Morocco, where the captain and the crew were made slaves. Muslim pirates European coasts and carried away over 1 million to North African slave markets. Kidnapped Englishman Francis Knight wrote, "I arrived in Algiers, that city fatal to all Christians and the butchery of mankind." Moroccan Sultan Moulay Ismail had 500 wives and forced 25,000 white slaves to build his palace. The Catholic order Trinitarians collected alms to
Why's it
ransom
gotta be white?
slaves. In 1785, Muslims captured 2 American ships. Jefferson met Tripoli's envoy in France and wrote, "The ambassador answered us that it was written in their Quran that all nations who should have not acknowledged Islam's authority were sinners, that it was their duty to make war upon them." During the Barbary War, Jefferson sent in Marines to stop the pirates. On February 16th, 1804, In what was called the most bold and daring act of the age, Lieutenant Stephen Decatur sailed into the pirate harbor, burned a ship, and escaped amidst enemy fire, giving rise to the Marine anthem, "From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli."
Hey, everyone.
All right. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard the Marine Corps song before, "The Shores of Tripoli." I did not know that that was the origin of it, and so I thought that was a super fun and video.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I've heard the song.
Did you guys miss the 500 wives part?
No, we did
I heard
not.
that. Feel sorry for that guy.
Yeah, how do you keep up? How do you keep up with that?
I think one is enough.
Well, yeah, even one a day is too
You
many.
see them once a year at tops.
Oh my
Gee.
goodness. Water break. Thank you very much. Ben Demon Hunter, welcome. Good to see you, buddy. 500 watts. Boom. Yep. Enlisted U.S. Air Force. This date, 1971. Roger that, Steve. Good to see you, man. I'm glad you're here.
Man, he's close to the same time I was in.
Lost this fight with PTSD on.
What time do you join?
Hey,
August 5th, 87.
Lee, thank you for sharing, man. I'm gonna put him up on the board.
Yeah. I joined in '88. Went over for Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and all that mess.
It's around 74 for me, best I recall.
I appreciate you sharing. So November 10th is the Marine's birthday. And you guys know what happens on November 11th, right?
Hangover?
Veterans Day.
It's Veterans Day, absolutely. Thank you, Laura. So I
Nerd.
found it fun.
Exactly.
My name's Pascal. Today, we're going to learn about Veterans Day. Veterans Day is always celebrated on November 11th, and I'll tell you why in just a bit. First, I need to tell you what a veteran is. A veteran is someone who has served in the military, also known as the armed forces. At Veterans Day, it's a day where we honor those who have served in the military. Did you know that the military has 5 parts, also known as branches? The Army, the Marine Corps, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Coast Guard. Together, they all serve to defend our freedom. Kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big
Respect. So if you meet a veteran, ask them what branch they served in, and then tell them they're awesome. The reason we celebrate Veterans Day on November 11th is that is the day that World War I ended in 1918 at 11 o'clock on the 11th day in the 11th month. An armistice was signed to end the war. An armistice is an agreement between 2 opposing sides that ends the war. Everyone was so glad that the war was over that the next year, 1919, 100 years ago today, the U.S. declared November 11th as Armistice Day to celebrate the ending of the war. It was called Armistice Day every year until 1954, when President Dwight Eisenhower changed it from Armistice Day to Veterans Day because he wanted to honor all service members, past and present. And that is why we celebrate Veterans Day, to honor all service members who have served our country to defend our freedom. Pretty cool. And that's your lesson on this day in kid history. Broadcast Cal out.
Absolutely love it.
I like that.
Respect.
Respect. Oh man, I thought that was such a simple, like just a great rundown of what Veterans Day is, told in a way that was fun to watch.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, I freaking loved it.
What?
Oh goodness.
Although we technically have 6 branches now, right?
Yes,
Space Force.
That video is a couple years old.
2019, I think.
Yes,
What's the new branch? Space Force?
Space Force.
Okay.
All right, so the next one is not as fun. It was one of the bloodiest days in Marine history. What is it? The 20th of November? Hold on, I gotta check my notes. But the Battle of Tarawa. Was
Pacific.
yeah, the anniversary this year. And so let me throw that up so we can all learn about that a little bit more together.
Wasn't Tarawa the one that was the worst fighting in the Pacific?
Yeah,
Something like that?
something like that. We're gonna learn a little bit more about it together. Just want to say appreciate all you guys being here on screen and in the chat. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Cheers, sir.
Let's
Good to
learn
be
a
here.
little bit about what was going on in World War II in November.
On November 20th, 1943, the U.S. Marines had their first real test of their amphibious assault doctrine. The test resulted in one of the bloodiest battles in the Pacific, the Battle of Tarawa. This is World War II. On the small 4-kilometer island of Batio in the Tarawa Atoll, 4,000 Imperial Japanese Army and Navy forces were building a fortified airfield complex. Japanese forces were well prepared with fixed positions and heavy caliber weapons. So confident of their defenses that Japanese Admiral Kenji Shibasaki reported it would take 1 million men 100 years to conquer the island. Around 0900, the 2nd and 8th Marine Regiments of the 2nd Marine Division stormed the spit of sand in the South Pacific using both landing craft and amphibious tractors. Attacking the north shore of the interior of the atoll, American Amtraks were able to navigate a coral reef standing in the middle of their approaches to the landing beaches. However, Marines and landing craft weren't as fortunate as their Higgin boats hung up on the coral. Vaulting over the sides of the landing craft, Marines waded 500 yards to shore in waist-high water before reaching the seawall, with many becoming casualties. Japanese forces raked the shoreline with machine gun fire as their 37mm cannons targeted incoming Amtraks and landing craft. Those that reached the shore were pinned down until armor and the division reserves were able to make it ashore. Progress inland was slow and difficult, resorting to hand-to-hand combat. By the end of the first day, the Marines established a tenuous 700-yard toehold on the northern edge of the island at Red Beaches 2 and 3, and a second on Green Beach to the west. Casualties mounted. Of the 5,000 Marines that landed that day, 1,500 were killed or wounded. The next day, the Marines were able to generate more combat power ashore, and by D+2, the 6th Marine Regiment, held in reserve, landed, helping to secure the island. By the end of the assault, the Americans suffered 3,000 casualties, with almost 1,000 killed in action. However, only 146 men of the Japanese garrison of 4,000 survived, many of whom were Korean slave laborers. More importantly, the American victory provided a glimpse of what was in store for future amphibious assaults in the Pacific.
Oh goodness.
Pretty rough.
That's a rough time right there.
Yeah.
500 yards to shore. Yes, that's a long way to swim with a lot of gear. Oh, and
Waist deep water. Wow.
Yeah, and when your enemy can see you coming, because being on land, looking across the water, you can see things coming from a ways out, and so that tactical advantage is terrifying. I don't like it. Not good odds. Does anybody else have anything that they want to throw in about that that video?
A night landing would have been better. just saying. Throwing it out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Hindsight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, foresight. If you're coming in and it's dark, they can't see you as well. So why wouldn't they do that? But
they didn't have night vision at the time.
Well, you don't need it to get to the land. I mean, once you're on land, you're fine. You can, get a bunker, make a bunker, make something like that. But at least you're on the land. You're not walking through the water in the daylight, in waist deep water trying to shoot something. But hindsight's 20/20 always. So
only 150-ish Japanese survived. Yeah, dude, that's a bloody island, man. And what they say was 5 square miles.
dang.
That's
insane.
That is nuts. And so that was November 20th, World War II. I have got a going to the next. I've got a. Oh, hold on. I didn't want to do this one next. I wanted to do it more chronological. Hold on. Hold what you got. Because there is a certified badass. That we're going to talk about next. Now this, I don't know if you guys have heard about Major Loring, Charles Loring,
No.
but he has quite the history, quite the story. So I got 2 different videos regarding him. So, Medal of Honor recipient, Major Loring. Here we go. He's also in the Pacific, so it ties those together.
Air Force Major Charles J. Loring Jr. distinguished himself at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty. While leading a flight of 4 F-80 dive bombers during the Korean War, he was instructed to provide close air support for friendly UN ground troops. Throughout the run, Major Loring's aircraft suffered intense enemy ground-to-air fire, crippling the chances for him to return to safety. He immediately altered his course and sacrificed his life by diving his aircraft directly into the midst of the enemy's area of operation. For his heroic actions on November 22nd, 1952, Major Loring exemplified valor of the highest degree, himself the Medal of Honor and the title of a Pacific hero.
All right, so you guys just heard that in the Korean War, his plane was getting shot up, and so he dove his plane into the enemy's position, ruining their anti-aircraft guns that were killing his squadron. But what that video did not share was the other portion of his history, which freaking blows my mind. Hold on. Arms. So this is the same guy. This is Major Loring. But this is his brother talking.
My oldest brother was Charles J. Loring. Of the 5 brothers, he was the smallest one, but tough as nails. He flew on D-Day. He flew in the Battle of the Bulge. Was shot down, and he parachuted out of his plane and became a prisoner of war for 5 months till the war ended. And he still volunteered to go to Korea.
Damn.
All right, so we watched the video of what he did in Korea, which earned him the Medal of Honor. But what that video didn't explain is that he was a pilot in World War II that went on a bunch of missions, did some badass stuff, got shot down, and became a prisoner of war, and then still volunteered to go to Korea.
Yeah.
If that's not a badass, then I don't know what a badass is in some way.
For sure.
Because that sounds like a fucking badass.
Even that little thing had some.
Definitely a badass.
Time to drink some water. Roger that.
Cheers to him.
Yeah, and cheers to him. Sure.
With some of the 1783-23 batch.
Oh, roger that.
How is that?
I like it better than the 24 version by a slim margin.
I think the 23 is what I've got, but I have not opened it. It's it's the I guess the 175.
Oh, okay.
Troy, did that happen just now?
Yeah, just like 2023.
Interesting. Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, so no surprise, I'm a submarine sailor, and when I was in the service, submarines were deemed one of those one of those services that was not co-ed. They just
yes
they felt that females were not hardy enough to deploy on a submarine. It's one of the combat forward high risk positions in the military. As of late October, early November 2023, the U.S. Submarine Service created the co-ed Navy. 600 women are now deployed on U.S. submarines.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was unaware.
Yeah. There was a. Oh man, what year was that? It wasn't that long ago. It was like more than 5 years ago. 7 years ago, something like that. In the Army, they opened up all combat arms to females because before that, like 10 years ago and before, a female cannot be infantry, combat engineer, artillery, all the MOSs that were declared combat MOSs.
Mm-hmm.
And they opened it up and said, no, if they can meet the standards, then they should be able to fight, and which I completely agree with. If they can meet the standards and do everything that their battle buddies on their left and right can do, then why not let them do it if that's what they want to do?
If that's where their heart's at, let them do it.
100%.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
As long as they didn't lower the standards.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked about World War II in the month of November, and the major that was in World War II who died in Korea and was awarded the Medal of Honor for his actions. And now we're moving on to in the month of November in Vietnam.
Okay.
Hello, Marvin. Hey, buddy.
I was working at a bowling alley. I ran the restaurant at a bowling alley, and we had a television, and there came a very short clip of the president putting the Medal of Honor on Roger Donald, and he just standing so tall and so straight. And now because of the military people in my family, I was very aware of what the Medal of Honor was, and I thought, wow, when I grow up, I'd like to be a soldier like him.
In 1965, after finishing high school, Sammy Davis enlisted in the Army. His father had been an artilleryman during World War II, and he volunteered to do the same. Upon the completion of training, he requested to be sent to Vietnam.
Our job was to provide close and continuous support to the infantry. That's the artilleryman's job. So we would sometimes have to fire almost continuously for 8 or 10 hours. As long as the enemy was attacking our infantrymen, you had to do your job. And then you may lay around for a day or 2 days and not do much. Then you cleaned everything and painted everything and polished your bullets. Sergeant James Gant from Lansing, Michigan, he was the meanest sergeant I've ever seen in my life. And he would make us take each bullet out of our clip every night before it got dark and polish it. He was just a bitter old Sergeant Gant was 27 years old. You know, he was just a bitter old sergeant. That's why he was picked.
On November 18th, 1967, Davis's unit was airlifted to a tiny island in the Mekong Delta near Kai Lei, Vietnam. American infantrymen were already heavily engaged in the area when Davis and his fellow gunners arrived.
So we landed at 8 o'clock in the morning. As soon as we spread the trails on the 105 howitzer, we started firing, and we fired the weapon all day. Just before dark, the enemy broke contact, so therefore we were able to quit firing, and a helicopter, one of our helicopters, came in and sat down, and a major got out. And he said, your probability of getting hit tonight is 100%. So prepare yourselves. He got back in his helicopter, and away he went. At 2 o'clock exactly, and I remember because I looked at my watch, we heard mortars sliding down the tube, which is a very distinctive sound. And to hear them sliding down the tube, you got to be pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
And I said immediately, I said, well, when did we move in mortars? And Hart said, we didn't. The mortars were just raining down. And at 2:30 exactly, the mortars quit. It was this eerie quiet. We looked at each other, and we heard whistles being blown like a coach has, and orders being shouted in English. And basically what they were saying was, go kill the GI. Sergeant Gant said, okay, boys, this is it. So we grabbed a beehive round, set it on muzzle action, loaded it in the tube, and we were standing there at our position ready for him. I was waiting for Sergeant Gant to tell me to fire. Now, I knew not to fire until he said fire, no matter what was happening. And I could see the enemy all around us. They were doing mass assault waves. Then he said fire, and I pulled the lanyard. Well, the weapon went off, did its job, but the enemy had set up a rocket right across the river from me. And when I fired it, they fired at my muzzle blast. When it hit the shield, it blew me off the piece. It also hit Sergeant Gant right in the chest. And the last thing I can remember was Sergeant Gant just disappearing into the darkness. Well, the enemy started turning my howitzer around, supposedly to turn it and fire at our guys. If I'd been awake, I would have known that our next gun back was going to fire a beehive round. Standing rule is you never let the enemy take control of the weapon. You know, common sense. But I was not, I was unconscious. So when the enemy started picking my howitzer up to fire it, Bill Few from Rising Sun, Ohio, fired the beehive. A beehive round effectively turns the 105 howitzer into a shotgun. It fires 18,000 little darts, beehive darts.
Goodness,
from
great.
mid-thigh up to and including my fourth lumbar vertebra, I had about 30 beehive holes that just passed through me. I had a flak jacket on, which is the only thing that saved my back. When they fired the beehive at me, it woke me up, and I rolled over, and I rolled face up in the bottom of my foxhole, and I'm looking up, and I could see all these pretty lights going right over the top of my foxhole, and I thought, wow, it's just like Christmas. My hearing went like turning the stereo from 0 to 50. You know, went from hearing nothing within just a very short period of time. It got loud enough that the smoke started clearing out of my head, and I'm starting to realize what's happening. And those weren't just pretty lights, they were tracers. So I kind of raised up on one elbow. I looked down, and there was 150 to 200 enemy right there. Well, I picked up my M16. I had 12 clips, which is roughly about 180 rounds. And I started doing my job as a soldier. Yeah. It was just like living in a bad dream. You know, no matter what I did, it's like I wasn't doing nothing to them. It was a reinforced battalion. It was 1,500 against 42 kids, and they just kept coming. Well, I fired the last rounds, and I didn't think that I was probably going to see daylight, but I wasn't going to quit. You know, because I thought, well, if I don't do my job, those guys behind me ain't got a chance. So I thought, well, I'll see if I can get off one round from the howitzer. So I scrounged around, found a beehive round, set it on muzzle action, found the canister that had not been fired, had to find the powder because we'd had everything set up nice and orderly, and naturally the mortars had blown everything askew. Now the enemy's still doing their job. I mean, they're everywhere. So I was having to hide and lay in the water, and they'd run over me. And finally, when I found all the components and I loaded the piece, I pulled the lanyard. The gun didn't go off. It went, when I pulled the lanyard, it went pop, and my heart just sunk.
Oh, good.
This was my last effort. But I could feel the gun kind of going. And then it went off, and it went boom. I had overcharged it. Figured I was only going to get one round. I wanted it to be maximally effective, so I filled the canister full of loose powder. Later, they told me, yeah, man, we thought that you had rigged up some kind of big flamethrower or something because of all that wet powder. That's why it didn't go off immediately. Well, I was still alive. I thought, well, maybe I can get off one more round. Well, I one more rounded it until I had heard someone across the river shouting, "Don't shoot, I'm a GI." And I seen Gwendell Holloway, my brother, standing up, waving these boonie hats, saying, "Don't shoot, I'm a GI." I said, my God, somebody's got to go get him. By this point, my body was in real feeble condition, and I knew I couldn't just run down there and swim across the river. So I thought, well, I'll find an air mattress. That's what the Army had given us to sleep on. So I crawled down to the river, swam across the river, stashed the air mattress in the bushes, and started making back to where I'd last seen Gwendell standing. There was a foxhole there. And instead of just one man being in it, there were 3 men in it. Well, I knew I didn't have the strength to make 3 trips. It had taken me about 45 minutes to make that trip over to that point.
Oh, goodness.
And I was just getting so tired. So I asked the man above to give me the strength to carry all 3 of my brothers at one time.
Despite his massive injuries and the unremitting ferocity of the Viet Cong attack, Davis made 2 agonizing trips across the river, shuttling his wounded companions to relative safety.
They pulled Jim up on the bank, started doing what they could for him, and I started crawling back to help Bill Few's guys when I came across my Mino Sergeant Gant. About half his body was in water, had this big hole in his chest, and he couldn't talk, but he picked his hand up. And I thought, my sergeant wants me to hold his hand. So I kind of crawled up and I grabbed a hold, and I still was hoping that he was going to tell me what to do next, you know. And I grabbed a hold of his hand and I looked down in his eyes. The light bulb that comes on in your head that your daddy always told you about, the light bulb came on. All these things that he had, polishing the bullet, the beehive round, setting the time fuse on it, setting out 100-degree heat with a blindfold. Sergeant Gant shared with us the things that he knew was going to help us survive. And when I looked down these eyes, I knew that he didn't hate me, that he loved me. You got to love somebody a whole lot to pick on them and teach them things. Jim Deister was one of the last people that we loaded on the helicopters. He was with our dead. The medic in the helicopter seen a bubble come up through the chest wound that Jim had in his chest. He'd been shot in the chest also. And took his stethoscope off and put it on his heart and had a heartbeat. And Jim Deister is alive and well today, living in Salina, Kansas. I got to hold Jim Deister's grandbabies. What an awesome feeling. Knowing that if I hadn't done my job when I was just a kid, that this precious little thing would not be here. There were 11 of us left standing that morning out of the 42 that started, 12 counting me. The other 11 men are the men that put me in for this. I didn't do anything heroic. I did my job. That's what soldiers do. And if there was one of these given that night, there should be at least 42 of them. Because if any one of us had not done their job, there would be none of us alive. It sounds silly, perhaps, to say that I went to war and found out about love. what real love is, I didn't go to war to kill people. I went to war because I loved my daddy. I wanted him to be proud of me. I went to war because I loved my grandpas and I loved my country. And when I got over there, the reason why we fought so hard was because we discovered we loved each other, that we were all we had. And they became brothers. We became brothers. And that's lasted up, it's been 36 years, and those men that I fought with are still my brothers. So I learned about what real love is.
Oh my goodness. Thanks for watching that with me, guys.
Wow.
So one of the things that stands out to me, I don't know if he planned it that way, but he went full circle as he told the story, because he talked about his sergeant, his leader, that he was like, he picks on us because he hates us. He makes us do these kind of things because he's an asshole, kind of a thing. And then, full circle, all the things that he taught him about how to do your job proficiently and be efficient in everything you do, and take time to scuff out those details and those little things. He's like, that's what saved our lives. And so I realized that he didn't hate us. He loved us and wanted us to do a good job. That's what really stood out to me through that, to where he comes full circle, realizing that his leader that he thought was a dick was actually giving him that hard training to make it so he could make it through something like that. That really impacted me on that. What did you guys take out of that?
Yep, kind of a tough love sort of thing.
Yeah.
You be as harder on them than harder than you need to be. Just because the more you can impart, the more they're going to learn.
Yep. So one of the things that video made me think of while I was watching it is that better men than I have gone forward and fallen. And so I've got to train harder. And I told you guys about my buddy Tate that took his own life. And we didn't do the push-ups earlier, so we're going to do them now. So if you guys don't know the story, on an average day, 22 veterans a day take their own lives.
Yep.
And so we do 22 push-ups a day to bring awareness to that and recognition to that, and bring that up as an issue. And so if any of you guys are willing and able to do 22 push-ups with me, I'm gonna knock them out. Let's go.
I don't know that I could do it.
Dude, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I did 27 because Troy from Baker Drinks has a thing with me to where every month we do one more than 22.
27.
So now we're up to 27.
27. Whew.
Hey, all you guys that are watching, I'm seeing all your comments. I freaking love you guys being here and going through this. Water break, absolutely. Do some push-ups, drink some water. You got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of your body, or else we can't take care of the ones that depend on us. Goodness gracious. 27. I appreciate you, Ken.
I'm a bit slower than you guys.
It's no race.
It's definitely not a race. All right, so that was a great video of Medal of Honor recipient from Vietnam.
Can I have your last water?
So at the end of these veterans whiskey streams veterans whiskey club live streams every month, we do an after action review. And one of the things that got brought up in a previous recap of the night is they want to see, like, you love the history stuff, but you want to see some modern stuff intertwined with it. So I found from the month of November a Medal of Honor recipient from Iraq and from Afghanistan, and so we're gonna watch their videos next.
Okay.
Let's get the share going.
It is hard to overstate Belavia's heroism from that day in Fallujah, Iraq, back in 2004.
The staff sergeant recently spoke about everything that happened on that day 15 years ago this November.
November 10th, 2004, Staff Sergeant David Bellavia marked his 29th birthday on a mission with his unit to search for a group of homes in Fallujah for enemy insurgents. They walked into an ambush, machine guns spraying fire at the platoon, hitting 3 of Bellavia's comrades.
I could not use my rifle, and I looked down and I had a round that hit the magazine. Couldn't have asked for worse luck.
Bellavia took a squad machine gun and went into the building alone.
So I just started firing. I could see these guys. I could see the look on their face. I could see how confident they were. And I clunk empty. And I look in the house and everyone's gone.
He regrouped with his squad and went back in with only a journalist beside him, once again running into insurgents.
I saw this guy loading up an RPG. I turned the corner and I just started putting rounds down. And because of where he was, he couldn't move. So he was just trapped.
Another insurgent he hit survived and, using the sound of his radio, tracked Bellavia to a bedroom.
They could hear that. So, but I don't think he knows where I'm at. I think it was almost apparent that he didn't know because he walked right in front of the door of that bedroom. And that's when I got the jump on him.
That insurgent went down, but soon after, another started shooting from the stairs.
But there was a gap in the frame of the bedroom, and there was a little bit of space between the concrete and the door frame. And I put rounds between the wall, and that got him.
Another insurgent came out of a wardrobe, but lost his balance and missed shooting Bellavia, giving him time to return fire and wound him.
Wow.
Bellavia chased him up the stairs.
And I hit blood. I lose my entire footing, and I just fall. And then the guy shoots around right where I was standing.
Bellavia tossed a grenade into the room, then wrestled with a fighter who was trying to give away Bellavia's position.
I did my best to pacify this guy. And I did. And it took everything to do it. And then I walked outside. I just needed a cigarette, which makes no sense whatsoever, but I was just really stressed out.
Bellavia planned to wait on the rest of his unit to take out the last insurgent when that fighter jumped down from the roof above.
Had he landed perfectly and had the jump, my weapon is away from me. I'm smoking a cigarette. I don't have a helmet on. I'm beaten up. I can't, my eyes are burning. He had the jump, but he landed the way he landed. So I was able to fire onto him.
He and his squad were ordered to get out of the area to clear the way for air support, all of them alive, thanks to Bellavia's bravery.
A crazy day ended, and we went on to the next crazy fight, and there was plenty of those for the rest of the time we were in Fallujah.
Incredible bravery. And you heard Bellavia right after the ceremony thanking the Army for that. Because he did exactly what soldiers are trained to do and did it to the nth degree.
And 32 members of his platoon at the service today. It was very poignant at the end because this doesn't always happen. The president invited them all to come up and take pictures and hug. And he was certainly thankful for those who were.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy times, especially in early Iraq. I've deployed with a lot of guys that were in Ramadi and Sarda City and Fallujah. Just the stories that they got from that era. Do any of you guys have anything to say about that one?
No, I was over there earlier than all that.
I'm just saying that dude came to play that day.
Oh yeah, big time. And I've got one more video for you guys. This is a Medal of Honor recipient from the war in Afghanistan, which you guys know I went to Afghanistan 4 times. That's near and dear to my heart. And so when I found a Medal of Honor recipient that what had occurred happened in the month of November, I was like, I didn't watch the whole video. I was just like, oh man, I'm looking forward to watching this with everybody tonight. And so the last video that I have to share with you was a Medal of Honor recipient from Afghanistan. And
right.
All right. I've got to refresh. Get another pour in here. Cheers, guys. Thanks for being here.
Cheers, you bastard.
You best. Nah. Hey. Forget about it. Randall?
I was born in Seattle, Washington, actually a little bit south of it in a city called Renton. I was an only child growing up. I spent every spare minute I had out in the trails, riding motocross and mountain biking. My father served just right at the tail end of Vietnam. He was in Special Forces about 8 years. When I decided to enlist, my parents were proud of me. You know, they were proud I chose to go the route I did. I got to the unit in August of 2006, and majority of the training period was focused for Iraq. It wasn't until our last training exercise when they came in, it's like, hey, mission change, we're going to Afghanistan now. Especially back in 2007, it's a pretty hot zone up there in Nuristan province. I remember getting off the helicopter and I asked where the base was and they just pointed up. I was not expecting that.
When Sergeant Kyle White deployed to Afghanistan in the spring of 2007, he was stationed at Ranch House in the mountains overlooking the village of Aranis. In August, the base came under a coordinated attack. With 50% of the command outpost under enemy control, the platoon leader, Captain Matthew Ferrara, called in an airstrike on their own position, breaking the enemy's will.
On that day, there was 11 wounded, but there was no U.S. casualties. We had suspected some of the people in Aranis were either aiding Taliban in the area or were members themselves. They sent a representative requesting that we attend a Shura meeting there with the village elders. We left Cap Bella with 14 U.S. personnel and then about 10 Afghan National Army members. We took the high trail throughout the night, set up security. On normal Shura meetings, there's usually a couple village elders, but on this day, it seemed every male fighting age and above was gathered around us, very involved in the conversation. But as the meeting grew on, repetitive questions, stuff that's not really relevant, started to get brought up. And it started to feel like, hey, they're trying to hold us here. Something's not right. Our Marine ETT, the embedded training team member, Sergeant Box, came up with his interpreter. And he said, we need to go. This is bad. And so we wrapped up the meeting and then made our way on the low trail.
As the radio telephone operator, Kyle White was in the middle of the patrol with Captain Ferrara and Sergeant Box, and his good friend Kane Schilling as forward observer. The entire platoon was on high alert, anticipating an ambush.
I heard a single shot, then 2 shots, and then it was just fully automatic fire and RPGs slamming into the hillside right next to us. I remember picking an area on the hillside and then just dumping my first magazine, all 30, as quick as I could. Going for another magazine, I dropped my first one, I slapped it in, and as soon as I did that, it was lights out. And I remember being face down on a rock, and I just picked my face up no more than probably just a couple inches off the rock, and a round hit that rock and kind of fragmented in the left side of my face. And I remember that brought me back to reality pretty quick. Right after that, I hear Kane let out a yell behind me, and I roll over, and he's running down the trail dragging his right arm. Hey, that's my buddy, and he needs help. So I go over to him, and he's got a wound kind of in his upper right shoulder. It was bleeding profusely, so I put a tourniquet on, tightened it down, and kind of went about, returning fire. Captain Ferrara was probably 30 feet from where Kane Schilling and myself were, and I could see his helmet in his bag, but I couldn't see him. I finally put 2 and 2 together that he was laying there. I low crawled to him, checked his pulse, and he'd already been killed. Kane was like, "Hey, box is hit." And then so I look over to my left up the trail, and his movements weren't coordinated and he wasn't making any progress. So I decided, well, screw it, I'm gonna go get him. There was bullets landing all around me. If he got hit one more time, he definitely wasn't gonna make it. So I drug him a few feet. They would shoot at me all the way. I'd wait for the fire to kind of die down, run back out, drag him some more. And I repeated that a couple of times until I got him back to our area. Worked on him, tried to do everything I could until he died there. I remember looking up back at Kane, and a bullet went right through his left knee. I didn't have any tourniquets left. I pulled my belt off, looped it around his leg, told him it was going to hurt. He said to just do it.
As the last remaining battle-ready soldier on the mountainside, White turned his attention to holding the position and calling in air support.
That was my fight. It was keeping the enemy at their location, keeping their heads down. But I was just the one that was there that day. I know if the roles were switched with anybody on that patrol, they would have done the exact same thing. The medevac birds finally came. I remember telling us, hey, Kane needs to go. He's in trouble. There's 6 Americans killed and the rest wounded. So we had 100% casualties. My best friend that day was on the patrol. Corporal Sean Langevin. We did everything together. Sean was killed that day. Kane Schilling had a bracelet I wear on my wrist, made for us. He wears the same one, and it's got all their names of the guys who were killed that day. I'm going to keep trying to make a life that any one of these guys would be proud of. I took, my lunch hour receptionist at the White House, she says, hold for the President of the United States. I talked to him. It was a casual conversation, but it gets your adrenaline going. My fiance went with me into the Oval Office. He's a funny guy, and he's very easy to talk to. Just seeing all the old buddies together after 6 years and some change, kind of all hanging out again. Kane Schilling was there. Going to his wedding next year, he's coming to mine. So we both think of each other as family now. And it's good out of something so terrible. There's a positive out of it. The hardest part about the Medal of Honor is wearing it. It's an honor to do because I know what it means. But every time I look at it, I just see their faces. I wear it for them because they're not here today and I am. And I just hope that by wearing the medal, I'm able to somehow honor their sacrifice. Their names won't be forgotten.
Damn.
Man, you brought it this month, Mark.
Their names not be forgotten. Amen to that. Yeah. Hey, thank you guys for joining in that. When in that video, when he said that he was the only battle-ready soldier in his whole platoon that was left, I was just like, "Fuck, that is a weight to carry," you know?
And he was wounded too.
Right.
It wasn't like he was 100% and everybody else was wounded. No, he was wounded too. He was just the least wounded.
Right.
And he still held it down.
I need another water. I'll be right back.
Yeah. There was a ninja that came by and started cutting an onion next to me, and I was like, "Dude, come on. This is not the time or the place."
Goddamn onion ninjas.
All right, so we talked about the veteran whiskey of the month, which is Nashville Barrel Company, because James, as a founding member, is a submariner, Navy veteran. Talked about that. We talked about a lot of you guys had some really interesting Nashville Barrel Company bottles that you guys showed that I've never even heard of. That was really cool to see, and I appreciate you guys showing those. We talked about honoring the fallen, all the people that have gone before us that are no longer with us, and I appreciate you guys throwing those names up and bringing them out so we can recognize them and pay tribute to them, have a drink to them. We talked about military history. We went through World War I is where Veterans Day started, the Marine Corps birthday, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan. We watched awesome history videos on every major conflict, which was just a blast to share with you guys and have some drinks with you and talk about those. And so now it's time to get into the AAR. That's the after action review. If we were going to do this same thing next month, which we are going to, what could we do better, and what should we make sure we do the same? Like, what should we sustain and what should we improve?
I'm not sure.
I mean, you're getting kind of close, close to freaking nailing it, dude.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you're the videos you're pulling, Mark, are like hitting hard. Keep doing it.
Yeah. Thanks, man. And if any of you guys out there are not on the Facebook pages or the Instagram pages or all the social media outlets, the Veterans Whiskey Club and the Warriors and Whiskey brand is out there. I'm the Washington State brand ambassador, but every major city in almost every state has an ambassador. So you have links and connections to other veterans. If you need people to hook up with on like a face-to-face, someone personal to you, not just here on the online platform, get in with, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. There's the Veterans Whiskey Club. There's the Veterans Cigar Club. There's Warriors and Whiskey. So there's 3 entities, but they're the same people that are running them all. And the ambassadors are all over the country. And so if you guys are not already tuned in to them, they have a lot of good stuff going on. And it's just a network of people, of similar, like-minded individuals that you can network with, find some new friends. If you're in one of those positions to where you need someone to talk to that knows what you're going through, like, reach out. Don't just dwell on it by yourself.
Yep.
Yeah. That's why we're here, because I don't want to drink and drive, but I don't want to drink alone. And so I'm here with you guys. Absolutely.
Yep, I agree. And I've already lost a few good friends, so don't want to lose any more.
Yeah, I
it's nice to be able to hang out with y'all folks and have a nice little pour and reflect a little bit. But,
What is Ken talking about? What we doing Celebrate this month? I don't know what Ken's talking about there. Ken, what you talking about, Willis?
Oh, are you talking about a live stream on Veterans Day? Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're pretty dialed in. Hey, I appreciate you, Bill.
Well, if you're not doing one on Veterans Day, Mark, I encourage you to.
For sure.
Twist my arm. Thank you for your service. Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Veteran streams are gold. Hey, thanks, Lee. And you know what, Lee? It was great having lunch with you today.
Yeah, the way he consumed that sriracha, oh my god.
Oh, you guys had lunch today?
No, yeah. So Troy met up with. He picked me up. He got to come see the man cave. He got to see the wife and the kids and the dogs and everything.
Super honored for that, buddy.
Oh, dude, I love you. And so we went up and met up with Lee, and then Bentley came in, and we were just talking whiskey and stuff like that. And then I was like, "Hey, can you take a lunch break? Can we go like outside of your store and like sit down and have lunch together?" And he took a lunch break, and we went out and we had lunch, and we had a great time.
Excellent.
Yeah, a good, manly man type stuff that needs to happen these days. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't happen enough.
Does not happen enough. Z-Man, cheers, buddy.
Was he at the new store or the old one?
Yeah. No, the new store.
He's at the new store. Yeah.
I'll be there. Yeah. Veterans Day. Let's do a thing. Let's do it. I needed that. Thank you. Yeah, dude. I appreciate you being there. Z-Man. Dude, Z-Man, where have you been, man? I appreciate you being here.
I was just talking to Laura the other day. I'm like, man, I haven't seen Z-Man in a while. I hope he's okay. I'm glad to see you, buddy.
Yeah, Z-Man's always here for the veterans live streams, and I was like getting worried for a second there because I hadn't seen him on there.
Hit me.
Veterans Day, remember, stays on Monday. I'm sure. Dude, I love Matt at Whiskey Crusaders. Good dude. So if you guys honest, I take constructive criticism very well. I'm a soldier. I can fucking put that shit on my back and make it better tomorrow. So anything that I can do better next month, don't be shy to call it out.
Start earlier.
Yeah, I miss a lot of your dreams. I'm sorry to say, but by the time you go live, I'm already getting too late for me.
Yeah, no, and I hear that. So it's like 50-50. Like 50% of that is because I'm on the West Coast, and a lot of people on the East Coast want me to go earlier. But there's a 3-hour time difference, and I can't.
I know that.
So the other 50% is that I take being an involved dad seriously. I'm involved with my kids and their lives. I want to help them.
Family life above all.
Yeah,
Yep.
and so part of being a good dad is being there.
Yes.
Like that base level foundation of being there. And so I don't come out here in my man cave and start drinking whiskey until I've already tucked them in and told them goodnight and put them to bed. I don't start coming out and drinking whiskey until I've done those dad duties.
There you go.
And so,
And to put that clearly, that's man shit.
that is man shit right there. I appreciate that.
But I still could dream of a day that I don't have to fuck up tomorrow to hang out with you.
Hey, and I can appreciate that, man.
Well, it's even worse on for Ben there. He's like East Coast.
Hey, appreciate you, Eric.
So it's like what 1:30 or so for you, Ben?
1:30, yeah, 1:25 right now.
Best Coast is the West Coast. Everybody saying what's up.
If there was
Z-Man,
any criticism at all, Mark, any criticism at all, you need something between Baxter and Alpha. You need like a mid-sized dog.
All right, so what he's talking about is my wife.
Do you not have pictures of your dogs? We need to see your dogs.
Yeah, let's see the dogs.
I'm sure I do. My wife has a 5-pound Chihuahua, and I have a 157-pound Guardian Life dog.
And the Chihuahua tells them what's up.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah. Chihuahuas, they're a beast. You gotta watch out for the little Chihuahua. They will kick your ass.
Something like in between those would be great.
Yeah, something like 25 to 45, somewhere in there.
Like
Yeah,
a,
I got
a snuggle puppy. Yeah.
I've been around a lot of dogs. The only dog that ever nipped me was a Chihuahua.
I believe it.
I've been around a lot of dogs. Every dog I've been around loves me.
Baxter seems
So,
like he rules the roost.
I don't know.
That's for sure.
No, Troy.
Yeah, you got to come up here, Mark. You got to come up here and meet Danny. You chill.
Oh yeah. Troy's name's Rupert.
Rupert Baxter, whatever. The little thing.
Yeah, but he appreciates it.
I don't care. King Corso. Oh yeah. Be cool.
Trying to find a picture.
So-
Damn, Lee. You should talk to.
Alpha was all over. He loved me. He like would take 2 steps and turn around and check to make sure I was watching. Little dog couldn't care less.
Yeah, he just wanted to bark at you and then go back to mom.
Lee, you got to talk to Luddig. He's had many Cane Corsos.
Oh, dude, Cane Corsos. My big dog Alpha, his dad is an Italian Mastiff, which are very close to Cane Corsos.
Meatballs tonight.
Very good guard dogs, but guard dogs that are good family dogs.
My best dog was an old pit bull.
You guys. All right, guys. So I'm gonna cut off the veterans live stream. Any of you guys watching us live, if you want to come into the backstage shenanigans, you're more than welcome to. We are gonna do the same thing next month for December. In my research today, like to find these videos that I put together for this, I found an awesome video for December, and I'm already researching shit for next month. So I hope that all you guys and more, if you guys have friends or family members that are prior military or still in the military that need connections, need people to talk to and hang out with, let them know about this live stream. And if you haven't tried anything from Nashville Barrel Company, that's good stuff. I've been enjoying
Yes, my first time hearing about them tonight.
or this one.
Oh, dude, the Heroes, that's good stuff. Absolutely.
Never had it. Don't know anything about it.
Now.
All right, guys. So if you want to join the backstage, join right now. Jump in, and we are going to close out with taps. As long as does anybody on this live
Mark, you don't have the link pinned right now. You pinned somebody else's.
Oh wait, we gotta close out. We gotta check the poll.
You gotta check the poll, but you also gotta post the link again because actually, you know what? I can do that for you.
All right. So the poll of which branch did you or your family serve in? The Army/Coast Guard is leading the way at 38%. Navy, Marines, and Air Force Space Force are tied at 26%, and other countries' military is at 10%. So 10% of the watchers right now served in another country's military, them or their families. So closing out the poll, great numbers. Thank you guys for participating and representing in that. Much appreciated. And much love to you and your families.
Mark, can you pin the link? I posted it. Can you just ping my comment?
Probably.
Or I could just drop it a couple more times in chat.
I was gonna say, is it not already pinned?
No.
Well, thank you, Mark. I appreciate you doing this.
Beach Sand Bourbon's post was pinned. So
I'm sad to say that I have not been able to stay up late enough to see your stream as often as I would like to, but I really appreciate this one.
Hey, thanks for saying that, Mark, because like I said, we do this every month. So first Saturday of the month every month, do a veterans dedicated live stream with the Veterans Whiskey Club, and I appreciate you being here. Absolutely.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
100%. Hold on. Can you repost the link, dude? I totally pinned.
It's there. It's in chat. We're good.
Yep.
So next month, Mark, are we talking Pearl Harbor?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I got some stuff to send you.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying that's going to be the year closer.
Oh, what the fuck?
I got a Washington State CMH winner.
Okay.
The first CMH of World War II.
Agua.
Wow.
Can I get soloed for a minute?
Yeah. What is that?
That's a nice
That's a K-bar.
Yes. Love that knife.
And then here's an original.
That looks
you
like
go.
a knife that's hurt some feelings.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Right?
Very
Yeah,
nice.
the first one is Pearl Harbor commemorative. Never been used, brand new. Well, not brand new, but never been used. It's just collector's piece. Thank you.
Yeah, roger that, man. I appreciate you sharing with us. All right, so you guys know the deal. We're going to close out with taps. Appreciate you guys being here. And next month, we're going to do it again. Appreciate your guys' feedback.
There again. Thank you, sir.
Make sure you're drinking more water than you're drinking whiskey. And make sure if you have people within your sphere of influence, make sure you're being a positive influence on them.
Exactly.
Amen.
Yeah, okay.